Okay, now, the reason we're building that smaller cube is that we're going to be working on a site now, okay? And the site that we're going to be using is that large sheet that you were given. So all of you got a copy of this larger sheet, yes? All right, and then you also were given these two sheets here. Let me hold it up so that the camera sees it. There's one, that's the overall context plan, right, or the vicinity plan, and this one is the immediate context around the site. Okay? So this is a hypothetical site. It's not a real site. Okay? So it's not like you can go out and visit the site. We're going to be basically using the information that you're given in class to create your site analysis. We'll be talking about what site analysis is. So this site is on a coastal, right on the coast. So one of these contours down in here is the ocean. All right, so the water just sort of comes across right down in here. All right. Your site sits up on the edge of a hill. And part of what I guess we have to talk about is topography. Okay, so on your site plan, you have what we're going to call a topo, right, of the contours around your site. How many of you guys have ever gone hiking and have looked at a contour map? How many of you know what a contour map is? One person. Two people. Okay. So contour maps are maps that show, right, a profile line through given contours of a hillside. All right. And so in this particular case, or this scenario, we have had one of the students build a topo model of the site. So if you guys look, there are all these contour lines. There's all these lines that represent levels of the hill. All right. And again, the name for those is a contour line. All right. Topos have what is called a contour interval. Okay. So contour interval. In this particular case, the contour interval, I believe, is 1 foot. And here is a model of that. So, for example, if you look at the steps going along in here, coming up along the road, we will see those steps right here coming up the same road. Okay? So this is a three-dimensional version of the two-dimensional drawing. I believe that this is, and I know this is at 1/8 of an inch to a foot, okay, which is why we built this 1/8 inch to a foot model. And the contour interval, I believe this is 1/8 inch material, so these contours are 1 foot, okay? All right, so part of what you guys got to do in reviewing the program statement, okay, is the very first thing that you're going to have to decide is whether or not the building is visible or invisible. Most of you have already read through this and have noted that you're not given the option of making it partially visible. Okay, the client is asking you to either make it completely visible or completely invisible. All right. Now, when we talk about being invisible, what we're talking about is the fact that, I'm going to move the topo model over. There are a grouping of large trees on the back of the site, to one side of the site, and then beneath the site to the other side. Okay? So when you look at the vicinity map that I gave you, that little dark splotch up at the top is this site. Okay? And that line that you see going up through all those trees, through all those circles, that's this walkway right in here. This is not a road, okay? This is a 4 foot or 5 foot wide hiking path, okay? So again, you can see kind of an interstitial view or an intermediate view of that right in here. So the important thing to note is that these circles represent trees. And so when you're standing down at the bottom in the parking area and you look up, right, you're going to look up through a whole series of trees to this site. And the very first thing that you have to decide in designing your first project is going to be whether or not the object is completely visible, that's option 1, or completely hidden, that's option 2. The no man land or the no person's land is right there. Because right here, here's this line of trees, right? You guys can see half of the building, right? So the client's telling you it's either got to be completely visible or it's got to be completely invisible or hidden behind the grouping of trees. Does that make sense? Why would that be? What do you think the difference is?
If you can see it, it builds anticipation.
If you can see it, it builds anticipation. What's the antithesis of that? What if you can't see it? What if it's hidden back here behind all these trees? It creates the element of surprise, right? So that's one of the things that architects think about, and that's one of the things that is part of your design, is whether or not you want to kind of put this thing up there and have people kind of get excited because they're getting closer to it, or hide it and have it become this surprise when they come around the corner here. Okay? Any questions about that? How many minutes are we at?
6:30.
All right, let's go ahead and stop it.